Channel. So in this video I'm going to show you guys how to make a princess darts um bustier. So the first thing you're going to do is to mark your line. So basically all these lines here started at 4 inches. That's the basic line for off shoulder. So basically I put my tape at that inches is going to be my upper chest. So my upper chest is this line, and then the next thing is my armhole line, which is going to be my chest line. Armhole divided by 2, which is going to be 8.5 for me. So that's here. So this is my chest line, and then the next line is going to be my bust point. That's my shoulder to my nipple, right? And then after that, the next one is my under bust, and then the next one is my waist at 17. So my waistline. So once you've done that, the next thing is to go down here and insert your nipple to nipple divided by 2. So for me, that is going to be 4 inches. I'm going to go ahead and mark that here, and then I'm also going to come down here and mark it too, and then I'm going to connect it together this way. Once I've done that, the next thing is to insert my my dart. So I'm going to be doing 2 inches of dart here, but if you're on a smaller size, you can even do 1.5, but I'm doing 2 inches here. So connect the two together, and then once you've done that, I'm going to come down here by 1 inch, and then I'm going to connect my dart with a curve. So now I've connected my darts. Once you've done that, the next thing you have to do now is to come up here and insert your chest line, your upper chest line. Just to calculate it, you can do your shoulder measurement divided by 2, which my shoulder is 16, divided by 2 is 8. You can always subtract 1.5 from it, or almost 2 inches for some people. So I'm going to do that. So for me, that's going to be 8 inches minus 1.5. That's going to be 6.5. Mark that here. But it will be better to measure it on yourself. After that, I'm just going to mark. Once I've marked my chest line, I'm going to mark my bust measurement divided by 4, which is going to be 10. And then I'm going to connect it this way with a curved ruler this way. What you have to do is just to come down here by 2.5 on this line, right? Once you come down here by 2.5, the next thing you're going to do is just to connect it. But before you connect it, you can also go ahead and mark your dart. So this same 2 inches I did here, I'm going to be doing it at the top here. So I'm going to mark 1 inch on this side and 1 inch on this side, right? So that's my dart. And then I'm going to go ahead and connect it to this my breast point line. So guys, I'm just going to connect the other leg of the dart to this same point. Once you do that, try to blend this part in. Guys, remember you can cut this on your fabric. I'm just cutting this on a paper because I don't have any need for it. But once you're cutting it on a fabric, all you have to do is just fold your fabric into 2 and just the same length that you need here. And then you can go ahead and add, like, let's say, since you're cutting it on your fabric so that you can have some excess, just do your bust measurement divided by 4 plus just do extra 4 inches to be safe. You can always cut off than have less. And that's basically what you need to do, is just to go ahead and insert my measurements. So down here, I'm going to just do my bust measurement divided by 4. My bust is 40, divided by 4 is 10. So I'm going to go back in, put back this dart that I have here, which is about 1.2. So put back that here. And now I can go back in and add my, because this part will be cut off, so it will shorten my my space. So I'm just going to add that back, and then the next thing is to add like 2 inches of seam allowance. You can even do 2.5 if you want to. So I can just do 2.5. Like I said, it's better to have more than to have less. So down to my waistline, divided by 4, which is going to be 8, right? Put back these 2 inches of that we have here, because it's going to be cut off. And then once you do that, add back your 2.5 inches of seam allowance, like I said before. And then once you've done that, connect it together. Connect this point to this point, and then you're going to connect, like, just so you know where your seam allowances are. So that's basically it. And then on this our dart now, these 2 inches that we took away from here, I'm going to extend this other leg of the dart, the lower leg of the dart, but instead I'm going to do 1.5. Some people even go ahead to just put back exactly what they took out, just so that in case you have, instead of having shortage, so you have more. But I'm just going to do 1.5 and then extend the leg of my dart this way. And then after So use your French curve and blend it into the line. So this is basically now my new armhole. Now guys, it depends on you what you want your neckline to be, the depth of your neckline, because remember you can't have it straight like this. So you can even go ahead and decide to put back your tape at the 4 inches that you started with, which is this line, and then maybe you want the depth of your neckline to come down to, let's say, 6.5 or lower. Anywhere you want it to be, all you have to do is just to blend it in this way here to this point. And that's basically how you mark your, how you make this princess that off shoulder. So guys, all you have to do now is just to go ahead and start to cut. So what I'm going to cut here is just from, so first thing I'm going to cut is from this line up into the armhole, cut down this way into this part, and then cut down to this. Try to just make this line, curve it just a little bit, just so it's not like that sharp 4-corner edge, right? It bust out. So guys, you see, once you've done that, so this is basically our bodice now. Like if I cut this on a fabric, all I have to do is just to go ahead and take this here, one side of this, place it on this side, and just go ahead and start to sew it down. And one thing you can do is to notch your breast point on both sides. So you can go ahead, notch this breast point so that it will not move, and then you make a mistake when you're sewing. You can go ahead and notch the line of this breast point on your fabric, because I'm imagining this is on your fabric, and like I said, this is supposed to be on a fold. So you see my center, the side, and then the other side panel. So guys, all we did here for the back is just to mark your 1.5 inch of zipper allowance. So this is for our zip, right? This is the zip, right? Then the next thing is this is still our upper chest line, right? Place back my tape so you guys can see. So this is the 4 that we started with. My armhole divided by 2 was 8.5, which is this chest line. And then the next line I have here is my waist line, which is at 17. And then they have an inch of joining it to the lower part. So once you've done that, you're going to go ahead and insert your nipple to nipple measurement, mark that here, and then also do the same thing on this side, nipple to nipple measurement, mark that here. So once that is done, I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to come down 1 inch from this point. So 1 inch from this, my line here, come down, mark it, and then I'm going to connect these points together from here to here. Once I've connected it, the next thing I have to do now is just to go ahead, insert the same measurement that we used in front, like a shoulder measurement divided by 2, and subtract like 1.5 or 2 inches. But guys, try to measure it on yourself, that will be more accurate. So I'm going to mark that now, so for my chest line. And then once you've done that, mark your breast measurement divided by 4, mark that here. So sorry, for me that's going to be 10 inches, mark that here. And then once you've done that, connect it this way, and you have your armhole. So this is just for us to get our armhole. Connect it from here to here. So once that is done, the same 2.5 that we came down by on the top, I'm going to come down by that again here. But instead of 2.5, I'm just going to do 2 inches, because this is the back. There's no bust here. You don't want the darts to cross over too much. So I'm just going to do 2 inches here on this line, and then I'm just going to blend it in from here to here. You don't want to have a lot of curve at the back, because there's no bust at the back, so not like a straight line, but it's still a princess dart. And then give it that curve a little bit down here. And then the next thing I'm going to do is just to mark 1/2 inch on both sides, like how you do your basic dart. And then I'm going to just mark it up to this point like this, and then mark the other 1/2 inch up to this point, up to this point. So once that is done, mark your waist measurement divided by 4. Like I said before, it's 8 inches plus this 1 inch that we took away here, and then plus 2.5 inches of seam allowance, or you can do 2 inches. I'm just doing exactly what I used in front, but I'm going to just add that 2.5 here. So the same thing for the bust. I've already done my bust divided by 4, which I marked here, and then I'm just going to add the same 2.5 inches of seam allowance and just blend everything in like this. So connect it here so I know where it starts, and then this is my seam allowance here. And then up, we'll go back up again here, and what you can do is just to on this same line now, what you can do is you can go ahead and mark 1/2 inch here, and then that will be the second leg of your dart, and then blend it into this line like this. Blend it into this line, and then extend this line a little bit, like by maybe 1 inch or so, 1 inch from this point, and then curve it into the bust, into the armhole. So this is now your new armhole again for the back. Some people even go ahead and just use this straight line and extend it a little bit and just separate it that way without any dart in between. But if you want, you can add a dart, and that's basically it. For the back, what you're going to do is just come down here by, let's say, 2 inches or 1.5, because you never want the back to run straight. You always want to have a curve. So what I'm going to do is just to blend it in from here like this, from this point now, and connect it all the way to this point like this, because you want the back to, it looks more flattering when it's curved than going straight across your back. For our zip relax also for the bottom part, what I'm going to do is to go ahead at this bottom part and come up by 1 inch. That's including plus this my seam allowance here. I'm just going to go up 1 inch here, and then I'm going to just go ahead and blend it into this line, into the side seam like this, and then this whole part will be cut off. And just know that my extra seam allowance will still come into this here. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut everything out so you guys will see what it's going to look like. So start from the side again, and don't forget this line still connects. This is still a straight line across like this. So go ahead now, start from this side, and remember this fabric is supposed to be on a fold, right? This is supposed to be on a fold. So go ahead, cut from here. And this is basically it for my panel, my back panel, and then you've seen what the front looks like. So guys, in next video I'm going to be sewing, but I just wanted you guys to have an idea, because someone sent me this a top that requires this particular off shoulder method. So I wanted to show you guys an off shoulder, what it will look like on a normal day before any alteration is added to it. So that's basically, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.